Hey, everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking on your Thursday night? Yes, it's another great, overrated, underrated night. Number 5, as a matter of fact. And we're excited about that. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all those free things that serve the almighty algorithm, the algorithm. And then also, we have super chats and memberships. We have a goal every night. That goal is any amount of money. And then also, if you look at the bottom of the screen, it'll tell you how to sign up for gifted memberships. And then if somebody gifts some, you'll get one. And everybody will go, yay. And so will you. And it'll be great. It'll be wonderful. Let's see here. A couple things. First of all is that I direct messaged SG today. I haven't since Sunday because I didn't want to be... And that particular direct message has not been seen as of a few minutes ago. So hopefully he's somewhere safe and cool and... excuse me. Drop. Mark that. As somebody... is looking after him and that things are good there. So that's my update there. If anybody else has any information, let me know and I'll put it out there. But still keeping a good thought for our wonderful friend, SG fanboy. So anyway, there's that. And then let me just get through a couple of these chats first, because this next thing compared to that is going to seem really small, petty, and beneath me. Let's see. Positive Patriots here. Paz, good to see you, brother. People saying hi. We do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet as verified by independent sources. Terry says, seasonal change is affecting many poorly. I'm one of them. See what this is? Whoops. See what this is? See this? This is, and I have lots of these. Long sleeve t-shirt. And I don't know. Did it get up to 70 today? Here, I mean, that's cold for here. It really is, man. It's cold. It's 70 right now, so we'll hit 80 again later. But we're gonna have many days of 70s. I'm not. Nah, that ain't cool. It was 90 like 4 days ago. Hello, chat. Oh, hey, Tom. Reno Hightower. That so sounds like the name of a Steven Seagal character in a movie. Terry Nee says, oh no, did someone scuff the Jag? No. But Terry, you'll be glad to know that the Jag is filthy dirty right now. There's dust all over it. Desperately needs to be washed. Let's see here. People saying hi. Terry Nee says, I turned on the sunroom heater this morning. Terry Nee, when you turn that on, did you get that burnt lint smell? It seems to me like that's the first smell of winter. when you haven't had your heater on for months and months and months, and you turn it on, and it's that first, sometimes your smoke detector goes off even. It's that burnt lint on the burners, you know. I hate that smell. I hate that's like there's nothing good about that smell. People saying hi. Our good friend Sven Dunkel's with us. And Gene's here. Hey to the best chat. Gene 1313. So wonderful to see you this evening. Terry Nee says, yes, dust. Genau. Terry Nee, grüß dich. Hoffentlich du wirst ein ausgezeichnetes Programm haben. Yeah. Genau. Oh, boy. So anyway, I got to vamp for 7 minutes. So yeah. Drove the Jag today, though. Not very far, but I drove it. Wasn't going to drive it tomorrow morning. I was going to move up my normal Saturday grocery thing. I got a meeting at 10 o'clock. It's a Zoom meeting, but it's still a meeting. Let's cram it all in on Friday. That's one thing I really like about the advertising world, man. You schedule a meeting on a Friday in advertising or even at Cartoon Network, and people are going, hey, man, I believe that's a good way to get your ass kicked. Anybody? Office Space? All right. I am so incredibly proud that Office Space was shot here in Dallas. All right. Terry Nee says they're harvesting soybean this week. Dust everywhere. Terry, do you live in one of those areas that normally has corn? Because you got to rotate the corn with soybeans. And growing up in Indiana, you're aware of that. Yeah, boy, is it dust everywhere. It's just Dallas. There's no rain. It's dusty all the time. And a mile from here, there's a huge highway construction going on. And a street off the highway construction going on. Dust and cement and everything. Doc Dorn says, Doc on deck. Hail, Tom, and chat. Yes. Doc Dorn's with us. The Doc Dorn's with us. Okay, now for the petty thing. I love, and I've been loving it more and more lately. Who are these podcasts? Especially their takes on Stuttering John. I really have been enjoying them lately. And that was not part of my Dabbleverse regular thing necessarily. But lately it's must see for me. And but today, and this is really bad because this is very nitpicky, but I'm telling you people, it's stuck in my craw. Okay, it's stuck in my craw a little bit. They were talking about John's friend, the legend, and a gentleman who says he's Mark Lewis, former baseball player. At least that's what they say. Now, I don't know whether it actually is or not. I assume it is. I'm assuming it is. And Carl was talking about him. He goes, this Mark Lewis, he played pro baseball, but he was like the number 2 draft pick. And he just, he wasn't that good. He bounced around from team to team. And somebody said, first pinch hit grand slam in playoff history. Yeah, that's real neat. Look, and this is my only objection to Carl's show in general. Sometimes in an effort to make Stuttering John look as bad as they can, they say things that I'm like, come on, man. You're better than that. Mark Lewis played in the major leagues for 10 years. I don't care who you are, what you think you are, to look at a guy that's played in the Major League Baseball for 10 years and go, he wasn't that good. It's like, man, come on. Half of those seasons, I think around half of those seasons, he played over 100 games during the season. Come on, man. Oh, okay. Hit a home run in a Major League Baseball game. How amazing is that? You're standing there, a guy that can throw the ball at least 80 miles an hour, if not 100, throws the ball and you hit it so far that it is out of, come on, man. It's like over the distance of a football field, you hit that ball. Okay, home run. Oh, by the way, pinch hit home run. Do you know how hard it is to pinch hit? And what the batting average of pinch hitters is? It is so hard to sit there on the bench the whole game. Oh, get up and go get a hit. The guys that play all day only do that a third of the time. So pinch hit, home run, grand slam in a playoff game. That's neat. I don't know. It's stuck in my craw because I played sports at a certain level and I know how hard it is. And it's just like, it's like saying they only had like 5 top 10 hits, please. It's all the stuff I hate about the age of snark that we live in, where Michael Jordan, he wasn't that good. He was just the best player on offense and defense, and whatever. All right, I'm done with that. But it just stuck in my craw. I'm late, I know. Hungus is saying hi. Terry says, I have farmland around my property, but 7 major grocery stores within 4 miles. This area is exploding. Our family had land when I was growing up. We lived in a rural area, and we just leased it to the farmers. We're like, if you can do something, go ahead. Yeah, we're going to get our guaranteed money, and then you guys go ahead and roll it on this year's farm crop. Yeah, sports. I know. I'm sorry, Terry. Doctor says, sound like Stuttering John is jealous. God, did he go off on Clay Dabbler today? And then later on realized it was a fake Clay Dabbler, but he'd already vomited all the evil that he had in his soul toward Clay Dabbler. Hey, God, don't come on Friday. I don't care. I won't have to listen to any more of your countless interruptions or your fire engines in the background. And he just goes through a litany of all the things he hates about Clay Dabbler. And later on, I didn't realize. Well, of course, you can come on. Yeah, everything's forgiven. I love you. Whatever. But it was great hearing John run down all the things I love about Clay Dabbler. He interrupts. He can't get his mic to work. He's got sounds in the background. He contradicts John on all sorts of stuff. It's like his greatest hits. I don't know. All right. Anyway, Clay will be on Out of the Coffin soon. Terry, if there's one thing we all know, Out of the Coffin will let anybody on that show. I think we can all agree on that. I'm kidding. I love Bob, and I love being on that show, and I'm so honored and prideful. I think it's fair to say I'm a little bit prideful. All right, you guys, you've done your due diligence. You've waited. I'm watching the room count just continue to drop. Why don't we get into what you're all here for? That's right, the internet sensation that's sweeping the nation. It is overrated, underrated. By the way, first, they let some old guy on recently. I know. Looked like hell. Doctor said, so I could be on Out of the Coffin? Hey, I don't see why not, man. I'll put in a good word for you. All right. Item number 1 today on Overrated, Underrated. Bob said he loves me. Well, hey. Man could live a long time on that compliment. Item number 1 today on Overrated, Underrated. I expect great controversy. And it is The Sopranos. The Sopranos. Are The Sopranos overrated or are they underrated? I anticipate a lot of overrated because of the last episode. But overrated or underrated, The Sopranos. Woke up that morning, got yourself a gun. I always told you were the chosen one, and I born under a bad sign you was. I'm trying to get you guys in the mood. I'm not getting a single thing in the chat here. I'm going to say underrated. I'm going to say underrated. Just a wee bit. Just a wee bit. Doctorn says wee bit overrated. I think that's a very valid observation. I'm saying wee bit underrated. And the only reason I'm saying that is because so many people lost their minds on that last episode. Oh, I'm sorry, I watched the whole thing. Like all that wonderfulness and you didn't like the way it ended. And so now the whole thing's just, okay. Julian Caesar says overrated. Writers had too much contempt for their audience. Never could decide if they wanted to be a parody or not. I kind of got to say that's a pretty good take. Underrated, still the best show on TV. See, at the end of the day, all the things you don't like, it's still, it's still probably the best TV show ever. Never watched it. Seems like a soap opera. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, any show could probably seem like a soap opera, but I would say watch the first 5 episodes. And if you don't like it, then don't watch anymore. You can never tell somebody about a series and say, watch the first episode of any series is like getting to know the characters, setting up the situation, all that. You got to watch 3, 4, 5 episodes of a TV show to really get in the swing of things. But Terry, to your point, I've often thought a lot of shows that I watch, like a soap opera. Overrated, says Gene1313. Julian Caesar said, I'd watch The Sopranos again. So I kind of split down the middle. I saw a really interesting YouTube theory on the very final scene in The Sopranos. And they went back through the series. And there were a number of times in the series when they cut to black or things went to black. Every time it happened, it was somebody being bye-byed. And so they theorized Tony's no longer with us. That's the end of the whole thing. So anyway, Terry Nee said, will do, probably won't. I know. My best friend, whenever I talk to him on the phone and he's busy, he always says, I'll call you right back. He's not calling. Dupe says, perfectly rated. The ending made me laugh because I knew a lot of the audience were exploding in anger. That's right. It's the same with Lost. I'm like, man, I had so much fun through that whole series. I don't care if they screwed the ending up. Julian just has a lot of product placement on The Sopranos. Tons of product placement on The Sopranos. The Sopranos was one of the top watched shows during COVID. I can imagine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I now give you the number 2 item on today's overrated or underrated Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel, is he overrated or is he underrated? Now let's just think about Vin Diesel for a second, okay? Do you remember when Vin Diesel first hit the scene, man? I mean, he was on fire. He was like white hot. He was like the surface of the sun. And I guess those Fast and Furious movies, they gotta make money, right? They just keep pumping them out. I don't know, but I can tell you this. I'm going through his thing here. There was a period of time when that guy was, okay, so he was in Awakenings, but he was an orderly. This is a short film, but Strays, he did Strays, and then Saving Private Ryan, and then he was the voice of the Iron Giant, then he was in Boiler Room, then Pitch Black, then The Fast and the Furious, something called Knockaround, guys. I don't know what that is. A couple more Fast and Furiouses, A Man Apart, which was a action shoot 'em up drug police thing, and then The Chronicles of Riddick, Dark Fury, and that was from 98 to 2004. That's a 6-year run that is just pretty badass. And by the way, those Pitch Black movies are incredible. Reno Hightower says overrated, plays the same character in every role. Julian Caesar said, I'm clueless about pop culture, so I don't know about Vin Diesel, but his name is it's a great name. His real name is, Mark Sinclair or something like that. I can't remember. I looked it up earlier today, but now I can't remember what it is. But it's just an average sounding name. It's Joe Schmo. Over, but love Groot. That's the thing. He's Groot. He's the voice of Groot. Terry Nee says, only saw him in The Pacifier. The Pacifier was what he made right after all those movies that I told you about. The very next movie he made was The Pacifier. Is The Pacifier a kid's movie? Like it seems like every action star's got to do that movie where they're the nanny for the kids or something. I don't know why, but I'm going to say that Vin Diesel is underrated, and the only reason I'm going to say he's underrated is because of that very beginning, but then also he's just not in anything anymore but those Fast and Furious movies. And when you think of somebody like Jason Statham, who does kind of the same kind of movies, but he manages to just keep pumping them out, and he's everywhere, even in some other movies that are giant, Vin's not doing that. So Riddick wasn't bad. Yeah, The Chronicles of Riddick and Pitch Black. Those movies are freaking awesome. Your first mistake, you came light. I mean, that's just awesome stuff, man. Eddie Mack says, Gina Levy was asking about you in chat earlier. Well, Eddie, what was Gina asking about me? I am a big fan of Gina Levy's, and I will argue to the death with anyone that the funniest thing that happened at DabbleCon 2 was Gina Levy's slow motion marine crawl out of the TSN podcast. Apparently she thought she was off camera. The door opens and you just see her crawling out of the... It's so funny. Rock said he was lazy. Well, Dwayne Johnson has a pretty amazing work ethic, so maybe it's true. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know the guy. Right? What's that? Man, I got to look that up real quick. I hope you guys don't mind, but I got to look this up real quick. I got to look up that that from the Chronicles of Riddick, I think it is. Mistake. Oh, here you go. There you go. That's just what I want. You made 3 mistakes. First, you took the job. Second, you came light. A 4-man crew for me? Blank and insulting. The worst mistake you made? Empty gun rack. That's a great movie. I'm watching that movie here. Coming up soon. Soldier, J. Mozart. All right. So we're going to say, I guess, let's call that a push. The number 3 item today here on Overrated, Underrated. Yes, it's the oven mitt. Overrated or underrated? And I still want to know what Gina Levy was asking. By God. Oven mitts. You ever been somewhere, been doing something, and there were no oven mitts? And you had to fold up a towel 4 times, and it's dangerous. Underrated, says Terry Nee. Underrated, says Dupa. Underrated, says Reno. Julian Zeter says oven mitt overrated. Pot holders are much nicer. Well, pot holders, man, you can burn yourself. The oven mitt's got you covered. Here's another thing. One thing I don't like about an oven mitt, and I'm a big oven mitt guy, is they're great for smacking kids. I don't like it when oven mitts are all tricked up. Like the two oven mitts look like two dogs or something. And that's being said, I actually have, this is no joke. My mother gave this to me. I have a barbecue apron or a cooking apron that has the actual tuxedo stuff. Like there's a real bow tie and the real shirt and the real jacket part in front. And then the oven mitt that goes with that is a bottle of champagne like this, but then you put your hand in it. My mom gave it to me otherwise. Underrated. Ever trade socks? I don't recall ever trading socks. But Eddie Mack, what was she asking about me? Was it good or bad? If she's mad at me or something, I want to know. If she's not mad at me, then I don't care. Gene1313, under, I like my hands. Nice sex. Okay. Hey, Hungus. Whatever, man. Terry Nee says, Eddie, they can melt on your fingers. Tim Jenkins says, it looks like a lobster costume from China. Well, that was the quickest one I could find. It's public domain. It's my public domain oven mitt. They're called oven gloves somewhere too, by the way, some places. He meant try, Mr. Logical. I don't know what I did wrong, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. So I think we have a pretty good consensus here that the oven mitt is underrated. Underrated. Yeah, oven gloves here in England. Yeah. Let me see here. You guys think I don't look into this crap? I do. Let's see here. I give you, let's see. Oven mitts haven't been the same since they banned asbestos. Or abzatos, as my brother calls it. Hungus says, real men use their bare hands. 2 pieces of wood. Item number 4 tonight on Overrated, Underrated. I give you item number 4, the World Series of baseball that we will be beaten about the head and neck with in about 5 days, I think. Terry Nee says, I have an oven rack stick. I don't know what that is, but anything with the word rack in it, I'm in favor of. Reno Hightower says, I've used welding gloves for oven Mitsubishi when I was single. Yeah, I know a lot of guys use those heavy-duty gloves sometimes. Overrated. The World Series is overrated. Well, you know, Bill, a lot of people agree with you. Tim Jenkinson says, only Americans, Mexicans, and Japanese care about baseball. Tim Jenkinson, apparently you've never been to Cuba or the Dominican Republic. But you're right. And I will say this. If you really want to see something crazy, look at baseball attendance, World Series attendance, and World Series ratings. Baseball's popularity is so much radically diminished from even what it was in the 80s. It used to be just voraciously popular. And now it's kind of popular, but it ain't what it used to be. Not by a long shot. Reno says, overrated. Terry Nee says, underrated, and I don't watch sports. Well, you know, and actually, I'd like to point this out because, and I'm one of these people. A lot of people from Europe and other parts of the world have a problem with the fact that we here in the United States, when somebody wins the NBA championship, we call them world champions. When someone wins the Super Bowl, they've kind of started saying Super Bowl champions, but a lot of the times they still say world champions. And the problem with that is there's a Canadian Football League. The problem with that is there are other basketball leagues in the world. And so we do this world champion thing when we really don't play the world. A lot of people from those other parts of the world bring up the World Series because they do play baseball in Japan, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Mexico. And what they need to know is the World Series was not originally named to be a world event. There was a newspaper in New York City called the New York World, and they sponsored the playoff games between the National League and American League back in the early 1900s because those two leagues had never played each other before. And so that's where the world came from. So don't lose your under, and I don't watch sports. Golf. That's why my wife married me. No sports widow. Not a baseball fan, so over. Terry says, we rock. Stop the USA, self-loathing America. Well, there are certain things we are the world champions in. And I would argue to a lot of people that we are the world champions in American football because we're the only ones that play by those rules. So, Jamaican bobsled team. The movie Cool Runnings, starring John Candy. I still don't see whether she's mad at me or not, so I guess I'll just have to find out the hard way. I think we said overrated on that one, overrated. Item number 5 tonight on overrated, underrated. Item number 5, I give you, oh yes, taste the rainbow. They're Skittles. Skittles. Item number 5, overrated or underrated. I'm going to blow your mind right now, man. Much like Fruit Loops, all Skittles are the same flavor. Those colors in there, that doesn't mean squat. They're all the same flavor. Dupa says they are overrated. She does not like them. She's heaving over and over and over, says Terry Nee. Skittles are overrated. Sven Dunkel insists that they are poisonous. Reno Hightower says overrated except on Keen House Ready Cake. I forgot about that. Why do I remember them tasting different? Psychological. Dupa is laughing at Reno. Wild Berry was great. Well, Reno, I just became aware of that whole thing. And strawberry, anything strawberry is good. I just became aware of the whole controversy regarding the wedding cake and the Skittles. Why would you do that on camera? Her and her mom. But the bigger issue, are you marrying the person that you love in front of all the people that you love? And is everything else cool? And then don't worry about the cake. I remember grape and lime. Underrated, Gene says. Skittles are underrated. There's a time in my life when I loved Skittles. I haven't had a Skittle in a while. Skittles are better than jelly beans. That I will give you. By a mile. Controversy? Apparently there was some criticism of the cake at Gino's wedding. It was small and it was covered with Skittles. I don't know why that's a thing. Who cares? It's their wedding. I can understand ladies, a lot of times wedding's a big deal and they might get a little emotional about it. But unless, I mean, and who wants to buy one of those $1,500 3-level cakes? That's stupid. I didn't get everybody a cronut and left it at that. I know, back off, ladies. And they're all saying, I wonder why he's never been married. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. Aku says if they are jelly beans made with actual sugar. Jelly beans, remember when jelly beans got all designer during the Reagan years? Because Ronald Reagan ate jelly beans. Don't tell me Chuckles were all the same flavor. I'll have to revalue my life. Man, Chuckles were good, and they were not the same flavor. They were very the flavor that they were. And then somebody like Welch's or Sunkist or Dole or somebody made like a knockoff of Chuckles that were, oh, God. Oh, wait, say wedding pizza needs to catch on. Whoops, wedding pizza needs to catch on. Well, you got that right. Julian, yes, Julian, wedding pizza. Harry Potter jelly beans are funny, I guess. I don't know. But you used to only be able to get jelly beans in the real normal flavor. And then when Reagan started having them on his desk, things got crazy. Things got awful crazy. All right, now, let's see here. If you like strawberry, try Monster's Strawberry Zero Sugar, Tom. Peach is good too. Monsters. Oh, Monster. I'll see if I can find it. Not going tomorrow. Going the day after tomorrow. Let me see here. Item number 5. I'm going to be interested in this. Item number 5 on Overrated, Underrated. Those of you who are thinking Elton John would be incorrect. That's Sir Elton John. Thank you. So, Sir Elton John, overrated or underrated? Sir Elton John. I don't know if you guys want mine or not, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Underrated. Underrated. Now, if you only remember Elton John from the 90s on, you might have a different opinion. But Elton John's early stuff, pretty incredible. Pretty amazing. And on stage back then, he was pretty amazing. But Madman Across the Water and Levi, all that stuff, it's just blow you out of the water. And so underrated, awesome till he blew out his voice. Just the voice was incredible. Ballads, rock, Philadelphia, Freedom, Grow Some Funk of Your Own. Overrated, but a hell of a showman. Wasn't he great in that, the British spy movies? It's that, the Somethingsman, the Kingsman. Yeah, that's it, the Kingsman. He was in one of those movies. God, it was hilarious the way he was in that. I only like a couple of his songs, but other than interview clips, I know very little. Under, he's an icon, 70s great. Zumak Attack says, what do you call a potato with a dude waver? That's a dictator. Thank you, Zumak Attack. Ba-dum, psh. Here all week. Tip your drinks and enjoy your waitresses. Julian Zito says, the only knock against Elton John is they didn't write lyrics, but that's okay. He wrote some lyrics. It's not that he never wrote any lyrics, but yeah, the majority of them, and certainly all the hits and all the other stuff, so it was Bernie Taupin, and it's just amazing lyricist. So it was a wonderful marriage. Gene1313 says, oh, that's tough. My dad took me at 8 to see him. Man, you're lucky. Eminem being a good friend surprised me. More so what he sent Elton as a wedding gift, diamond-encrusted bedroom rings. Well, Elton John is friends with like tons of people you wouldn't think he was friends with. Same for Elvis Costello. They're just friends with everybody in the music world. But if you go back and listen to his first albums, man, Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy and Madman Across the Water, and it's just amazing. Tyranny says Rocket Man was a fun movie. Yeah. Man, can you imagine if we, let's see, until under in the 70s, over after? Well, let me see here, because Elton thinks Trump is funny. Well, I guess. Remember when he and Billy Joel did that tour together? Piano Men or something like that it was called. Let me see here. God dog it, this thing's pissing me off. Okay, let me see here. Come on now. Oh, shit. Don't do this to me. Okay. Been in a lot of movies, too. And of course, his his music has been in a lot of movies. So, all right, let's see here. Singles. By God, singles. Border Song. Let's see. Your Song. It's a little bit funny. Tiny Dancer. Rocket Man. Honky Cat. Crocodile Rock. Daniel, my brother. You were older than me. Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Benny and the Jets. Candle in the Wind. Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. The Bitch is Back. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Philadelphia Freedom. Someone Saved My Life Tonight. Island Girl. Grow Some Funk of Your Own. Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest World. Jeez Louise. Man. Mama Can't Buy You Love. I mean, come on. Little Genie. Blue Eyes. Empty Garden. Come on, man. I say the guy's underrated. All right, what else we got here? MTV ruined music. A lot of people feel that way. Love Daniel, my brother. You were older than me. Do you still feel the pain of the scars that won't heal? Do your eyes have not? Do you see more than I? Oh, well, well, well. Okay. Aku says, I always think he sang Mr. Blue Sky. That's ELO. Julian Caesar said, who would win a fight? Elton, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting John, or Mick, Street Fighting Man, Jagger? Man, I don't want to see that fight. I just don't want to see that fight. I don't. Now, item number 7, our final item tonight on Overrated, Underrated. I'm not sure that everyone here knows what it is or will know. But I know that if you work in an office environment, it is very likely that you know what it is. And a lot of people outside of an office environment know what this is. But I'm fearful that I'll have to explain it. So I give you item number 7 tonight on Overrated, Underrated. And that item is a Keurig coffee maker. A Keurig coffee maker. Water cooler. No, it's a Keurig coffee maker. And I'm just going to go ahead and give you my take on this. For those of you who don't know what these are these little, they look almost like when you go to a restaurant and you get the creamer in the little thimble-sized, peel it open, pour it in. Okay, they look like that, but they're more like a hockey puck, okay? They're more like a small Reese's cup. They're kind of squatty and stock, and they're a little cup. Okay, and you put it into this maker thing. You see that silver bar there? That pops open, and you put the little puck in there. You close it, you hit make, and it makes you one single cup of coffee. Now, offices use these like crazy because they're not making a ton of coffee. All the coffee gets used. It's one at a time, but it creates a huge ecological disposable cup thing problem. I think they're highly overrated. The coffee ain't that great. One at a time. Are you kidding me? And by the way, you have to take the size of the cup of coffee. I mean, I need a trash can with a handle on it. I don't need that. Julian Caesar says, Keurig isn't for me, but they're cool because you can get a bunch of different pods and let your guests choose. Yeah, I guess. It looks like a massive creamer. Yeah, it does. Coffee for $2. Overrated. It's instant coffee. Vomit from the 70s. See, that's my thing too. It's not even real coffee. And emotional damage. Yeah. There's some coffee that's good. I know a lot. I also know of hot apple cider. Well, the thing about the Keurigs also, Reno says the coffee sucks. And let's be honest, if you're willing to drink a pit, do you really like coffee? Exactly. Also, it seems to me like the people that have a Keurig are in some sort of unpublished contest where they're just trying to impress everybody with their flavors of coffee. You know, rum hazelnut. No, I'm not drinking that crap. I mean, where's the one that says black is the devil's heart? Where's that one? Where's the one? If you really drink a pot, yeah. Do you really like coffee? In a pinch. Ghost Goat says, Keurig is coffee sauce straight from Germany. Set Germans are sending us their cafe. Uns anflugen. Let's see here. Aku says, Starbucks pod ain't bad. Ain't bad. I hate to say this, but you know, I had them one time and they weren't bad. You know those little sleeves about this long that you get? Hot water, Starbucks instant, stirred up. Hey, in a pinch, it was better than any other instant I ever had. Like John's liver. I only drink it black. I got to tell you, Terry Nee was on fire today. Every chat room I was in with him, he was on fire. Hungus Mungus says, I like this creamy milk coffee. I can't lie. We exist to complain. Agus says, the bigger issue is the coffee quality. It's the waiting for the tiny water reservoir to heat up again. Yeah. That's another problem. By the way, like, share, subscribe, notification bell, retweet, please, for the almighty algorithm. It's free. Just click. And then also, we do have super chats and memberships. We have a goal every day of any amount of money. We haven't reached that goal today. But you can get free memberships, and so turn on your free memberships. It tells how at the bottom of the screen, and you might get one. Who knows? It's rage-based, Tom. It's rage-based. Terry Nee takes all of his rage out in the chat rooms with sniper comments. Terry Nee should start demanding an appearance fee. He really should. He really should. He's one of those people that shouldn't have to pay to have their comments featured. There was a radio station here, and God, I say horrible things to my pastor on golf course. Very cathartic. Hit like, anyways. Yeah, hit like anyway. What was I going to say? There was a radio station here in Dallas. Well, it's still around and stuff. But they used to have a guy who would be on the last segment of their middays during the crosstalk between middays and afternoon drive. And his name was Line 4 Guy. He started out as just a caller. And they had him on one time. They just left him on, and he was so funny. That's all he did on the station, was that one segment a day. Line 4 Guy. Nobody ever knew his name. Nobody ever talked to him outside that segment. It's just Line 4 Guy. That's what Terry should be on these shows. He should just get to put his own comments up whenever. Aku says, we have one at the shop for waiting customers up front. I just have a kettle to make some instant espresso. Okay. Thinking about it, do you Americans really not have an electric kettle? We used to, we don't anymore. Electric kettles used to be a big deal. In fact, some of the electric kettles used to have that the little pipe that went up to the top, and then the bin, and the whole thing, and it would brew the coffee, and then you could pour it out too. And a cord coming off it, and the whole 9 yards. But we don't have that anymore. We don't do that anymore. That's the old way. That's the old way. So I'm seeing, was it over? I think it's over. This is overrated. Overrated. Goodbye, Keurig. And that concludes today's overrated, underrated, unless you guys got some stuff you want to throw into the consideration pile. That's overrated, underrated, by the way. I need a brand name, Tom. I have no idea what you're talking about. Keurig. It's big as life at the top of that thing. America going downhill. Well, if that's what you say. Like drinking liquid cancers. Oh, God. Golly gumption. Golly gumption. It's awful. That's awful. Oh, no, that electric kettle you were describing. Well, back in the day, probably everybody, probably Westinghouse, Sunbeam, Hamilton Beach, I don't know. 9 cents. Full pot of folders in my Mr. Coffee. I'm good for the day. My coffee story. I did not drink not one sip of coffee until I was 35 years old. And I could never see what the big deal was. So I have to go on this TV shoot for a TV campaign up in Vancouver. Don't make me tell the story about why we were shooting in Vancouver in February, but it was cold. I am literally freezing. I'm freezing. I'm shaking. And one of the people in craft service said, why don't you have some coffee? I said, I've never drank coffee before. And I think, why not just see what the big hubbub's about? I drank a cup of coffee, and I was just like, this is great stuff. I love the coffee. I'm going to get some coffee. When I landed in Detroit, which is where I lived at the time, I made the limo driver take me past a store that I could get a coffee maker and a thing of ground coffee. And I proceeded to start making a pot of coffee every single night when I got home. I currently do not own a coffee maker because if I have one, I will drink coffee all day. And by the time I do this show, I will have a low-grade hostility that you will not believe. So there's my coffee story. I love it, and I drink it at work, but I got to watch it. Otherwise, you get that thing around 2 or 3 in the afternoon if you had too much coffee and someone comes in, hey, we were thinking about doing this. Well, why are you in my office? Aku says, I've never made coffee in my kettle. Well, okay. Toby McGroby, thank you, Toby, for the $2 Canadian, and thank you for shattering our goal today of any amount of money. Overrated grocery stores with 3 of 40 registers open. Boy, you got that right. And why am I suddenly bagging my own groceries and searching 4 sides of a box to find the code? Julian Caesar says, I was out early and stayed out 4 hours. Got home chilled to the bone, drank 3 cups of coffee, one right after the other. That sounds like a good recipe to me. Terry Nee says, as a child, I thought the percolator in the kitchen downstairs was a robot walking around. Found courage to discover, then humiliation. Terry Nee, I grew up in Indiana, out in the middle of nowhere on a farm. The percolator, remember the percolators at the top of a percolator coffee maker had that little dome at the top that you could see the coffee shoot up to and percolate? I would watch that for hours if I could. That was entertainment for me. Tom's a bit of a late bloomer. 35 years, yeah, you betcha. Aku says, Toby, why do I recognize your profile chapter? I don't know. Toby says, yes, and people are mad that you're not bagging your own groceries quick enough. Yeah. You get what you get when you open me up to having to bag my own groceries. Sven Dunkel says, coffee sucks. A true German pops Pervitine. That's right. Pervitine. Better than coffee. Terry Nee says, I haven't used a grocery cashier in years. Oh, I do every time there's one there. But there's never one there when I'm there. When it opens, it's all just... Which is a 180, because at that place, you didn't used to be able to use your own checkout first thing in the morning. They made you use a clerk. Toby says, Aku, it's Magus from Chrono Trigger. No idea. All of it right over my head. Aku says, that's not a kettle, Tom. That's a coffee perk. I mean, a kettle to boil water. I know, Aku. I'm talking about two completely separate and different things. Okay. One's a freestanding, put it on the counter, percolator, coffee maker. The other is a kettle that looks like a kettle, except it has an electric cord coming out of it. Chrono Trigger. That's it. Yes. I kept thinking it was Tales of Fantasia. I gotta read this stuff. Apparently, Terry objects to the employees handling his merchandise. Tom will eventually break the bonds of physics to reach through his screen to strangle me. No, I won't. No, I won't. It's just a mix-up. I get mixed up on this end. You get mixed up on your end. It's okay. Terry Nee says, I do like a coffee French press I discovered in India, though. Those French presses are nice. They're nice. They're very, very nice. Very convenient. My wife calls me Howard Hughes. Is you're like germaphobe and got to watch them make your food at restaurants and that kind of thing? You one of those guys? Yeah. Let's see here. Julian Zeezer says, ever give her a spruce goose? You know what I'm saying? Huh? You know what I'm saying? That spruce goose was a pretty amazing vessel. Well, still is. I guess it's docked somewhere, or it's an attraction somewhere. But man, oh man, that's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Hungus Mungus. Ooh, hey now. We're going to do a show on the spruce goose. But tomorrow's show, ladies and gentlemen, will be on blue blocker sunglasses. So yeah. What's about this poop coffee? Well, you know, and I'm sure you do, Sven, there are certain coffees in the world that are extremely valuable because they have been passed through an animal. They feed them the coffee beans and then they are excreted through the animal. Apparently there's certain acids in the animals, you know, that make the coffee better or something. And it's really expensive. It's like $3,000 a pound or something. I have it completely under control. I have pulled completely away from humans yet. Tom, don't read. Toby, that first time you faced Chrono, I used an emulator to figure out if you could do enough damage to end it or if it was unkillable. I think I have it up at 1 billion. I haven't pulled completely away from humans yet. No, this is your last vestige. You're like Dr. X in the Watchmen. It's just a string of humanity left. Aku says it's also really good coffee. Yeah, if you like panther crap in your coffee. Lemur crap or whatever it is. There's a bunch of them. I thought there was only one for a long time, but I was doing an article recently and I found out there's a whole bunch of animals they've run the coffee through. Terry says, actually, I'm a hugger. I did. I'm not one to be hugged. I don't shake hands. I will dap you up, though. I will dap you up with the best of them. Aku says, Terry, don't stick around me, else we can pinpoint the exact moment you snapped. You wash the beans. Exactly. I'm not washing it. Terry McGrovey, 90s gaming chat. Sorry, Tom. Aku, same, but I think you mean Lavos. Whatever. I mean about the human race. Oh, Terry's a fine chap. Everybody that's met him in person likes him. He, has met some of these people in person. Aku says, Toby wasn't the Chronomons. I'm just so not. I remember when I was playing Zaxxon one time. Oh, man. Medal of, was it Medal of Honor? Aku says, I've been a dog's age since I last played. Medal of Honor was my game. And I think I either had the first or second version of it. Fort Schwerzen. Jeez. I thought I'd never get past Fort Schwerzen. Guy hiding in the bushes, on the side bushes with a shotgun. It took me forever to find that jerk. According to my brother, I should have taught social distancing during COVID. Yeah. I'm not that, Tom, it was the first game I know of that had multiple endings. 12, I believe. Wow. Was one of them a happy ending? I mean, did you have to show your ID to buy the game? We've got about 3.5 minutes left in tonight's extravaganza, at which point we'll be bugging out of here to go watch a better show. Blue Blockers tomorrow. The Spruce Goose, the Goose on Monday. I am trying so hard to think of something I can do for you absolutely wonderful, funny, brilliant people on the weekend. And I can't think of a damn thing. And I'm not doing any more movie reviews or any more reviews of any content that I do not personally own myself, because it's too dangerous. I told you guys I got dinged for Tom Lehrer, right? I had to send them a thing that said Tom Lehrer in November of 2020 relinquished all ownership, copyright, bit. Nobody owns it. Nobody owns it. Terry Nee, of course, in keeping with his philanthropic policy of torturing me with his $1 donation every day, has been kind enough to thank you for the $1 donation, Terry. I appreciate it. Those do add up. Actually, I do appreciate it. This show, I looked back. Do you guys realize how much ass we were kicking before all these shows changed times? I mean, we were in the hundreds of views, and I was getting people in here, and it was a different time. Tom says, Aku says, excuse me, Tom, I'm having an issue with Warhammer 40K. Can't figure out the order of the books. Damn it. I hate it when that happens. Tierney says, smart. Smart. I don't know what that refers to, but I am going to assume it was directed at me. I should move to Eastern Standard Time, but then that would put me on an hour earlier, and I'm not sure I can make that right now. By the way, today's collar, this is the Fort Wayne tin cap, and this is, I got this in 2008, 16-year-old shirt, Johnny. Check this out. Check this out. Check out the bright, vibrant, still viewable. check out this. Whoops, this. Still says tin caps on the sleeve, all nice and pretty. John, your shirts look like ass. I don't care about your past accomplishments. I don't care, because it's the kind of thing that you would say, oh, my collar in 2007 was fine. By the way, there are about 600 books. That's a lot of books. Tierney said, but you could do mornings when old people are active. That's when Bob's on. I got a lot of change and flux to my schedule right now. It's an and a half for the past few months. It's past few. Let's see. 6. All right. Okay. Hey, I'm looking at that old clock on the wall, and it says, like the Reverend Al Green, it's time for me to get up on out of here. You have to go home, but you can't stay here. With all that being said, you guys rock. You seriously do. Thank you so much for making the show so fun, at least for me and for the very few people who watch it. We're having a good time, right? So thank you. You're the best. Until next time. We'll see you next time.
I got a world of hurts living under my